everyone, and welcome to Ajima's World. I'm Ajima, and you're in my world. Thank you for joining me. So today I am going to talk about Colombia, of course. I want to talk about Colombia. I want to talk about driving cab versus Uber. My experience. I don't know about anyone else's experience, but I'm talking about my experience when I went to Medellin, Colombia. Well, as I said before, probably like in one of my other videos, when I first landed in Medellin, Colombia, which was like July the 25th, somewhere around that time, and I was going through the airport, and an employee came up to me and said, "Let me get you a cab," which I heard that's something that you shouldn't do, but he kept showing me his badge and said, I'm employee, airport employee," and so I went to the ATM. He showed me the ATM. I got money, which I didn't know a whole lot about the money at the time. Got 400 pesos. He took me to a driver, and we left the airport. We took a long walk. I don't know. It was like maybe about, I shouldn't say long, maybe about 3-4 minutes. We went way down this side and started going all the way across this parking lot. And gentleman came to me. It was a nice gentleman. Escorted me to his vehicle. Check out the vehicle. It was a safe vehicle. I don't know if he was really an Uber or what. Maybe he was an Uber. Didn't really ask, but I was just trusting the fact that it was an employee from the airport that was showing me. And again, he tried to tell me to give the guy only 20,000 pesos, and I ended up giving the guy a lot more, which different story. But anyways, in that experience, I think he was trying to size me up, and he was asking me and telling me about, showing me all these pictures of women, chicas. I was like, no, I don't need that stuff. He's trying to tell me other stuff. I was like, no, I don't need that stuff. And he was like showing me pictures, all these dirty pictures of women. I was like, no, I don't need that stuff. And he was like, so he kept trying to figure out what could I want and stuff. And so then finally, he was like, I need passport. I got right passport. He wanted my passport information. I said, passport information? No. He said, he kept pointing down that he needed to write it down because he was writing. I was like, no. I said, you can pull over and let me out. No. He didn't really speak English at all, but he kept saying, I said, no way. And I was like going to the door like, no, I don't give out that information. Okay, so I kept thinking, am I supposed to give her that information? Then I'm like, oh, hell no. I'm not giving my passport information to some cab driver. This is crazy. This has got to be a scam. So, he drove me and, no more problems. And he took me to the my hotel and got me there. And before I got out, I called somebody. I wanted to make sure I spoke to somebody at the airport to make sure he wasn't going to rip me off, because I got ripped off at the airport by his buddy, even though he was trying to tell me to give his buddy, the airport employee, 20,000. I ended up giving 50,000, which is more like $16 just to carry my bag and find the driver. Okay, so I got hustled on that. My fault. Okay. Learning experience. It could have been a lot more, $16. I'm not going to cry on $16. It's a lot of money in that country. It is no money, but, it could have been a lot more. As far as the cabs, the time that I was there, and I was there for almost 3 weeks, I took a lot of cabs, and I actually met a lot of cool guys. Most of the time, the hotel called cab drivers. Little small, tiny little cabs. I met a lot of good people in cabs. Guys that were like, no, Spanish. They wanted me to practice Spanish, to learn Spanish, and a lot of times they laughed and they giggled at me. And at the same time, they was trying to learn English, so they would try to tell me stuff in English, and I would try to correct them or help them. So I experienced that quite a bit. I shouldn't say quite a bit, with a few drivers. That everybody was pleasant. Everybody was pleasant. So nothing against the drivers in the cabs. I did met some really, really nice people, very professional, good drivers, and just I would say maybe like two or three guys who were interested, carried good conversations, wanted me to talk in Spanish. I remember one guy who truly wanted me to talk in Spanish, and he listened, and he would just try to say stuff in English, and I would try to help him. So it was interesting, just with the drivers. I think that I noticed also is that at a certain this rush hour time, and if you're in Poblado, I hope I'm saying it right, Poblado, Medellin, and you're downtown or something, the traffic is really bad. I think it's like, is it like 4 to 7 or something like that? And you're downtown, you can't get a cab. Okay, they're gonna turning you down. People kept turning me down, and I was mad. Did not understand that I was racing. They were like, no, 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 give me the card back. I kept showing them the card to address to my hotel. They was like, no, and I didn't understand. I was mad. It was like hours, or maybe an hour and a half of just walking around trying to get a cab because it was getting dark and I was trying to get back to the hotel. But I met great cab drivers at late at night when I went out to clubs, and I flagged down cabs. No problems. I had a few people pick me up, and I said to them, I tried to tell them in English, which they didn't speak English, so I was speaking Spanish. I'll show them the address, and then sometimes they would pull over and talk to their friends and get the address from their friends. Most of the time, the fare price was, when they got me there, it was basically mostly the same. I paid mostly the same. Actually, it should be like, it was normally about like from my hotel, which was La Quinta by Wyndham Hotels, to downtown Medellin, like the Paques Jarvis area. It would usually take about like, was usually like what 8,800 pesos, 78. Sometimes depends on traffic, but normally like 8,000 pesos, which is like is definitely under $3, way under $3. Okay, $3 is like $3.16 is like what, 10,000 pesos. So a lot of times it was under $3 or 10,000 pesos. And just a few times, maybe one time, when this guy that was lost and he asked his friend for directions and he tried to get me there, and maybe it was like 11,000. I was kind of mad, but he was trying to give me a lower price, and I just gave him the 10. I was like, okay, cool. I just gave him 10,000 pesos because a lot of times I just, even when it was like, I think one time I had it was like 7,800 pesos, and I just gave the guy the 10,000 pesos. Okay, because I enjoyed riding with him. Was very professional. I met a driver who was like extremely professional. He pulled out his translator, and he started like talking to me like, sir, like, where do you want to go? Is there any particular club you want to go to? Do you want to find clubs where there was like a lot of nice women at, or like what kind of like places? Because Paques Jarvis is really big. And he was just like really professional, and I was like impressed with that. So I asked him for his number, and so in case I want to get around, he was glad to give me his number. And so yeah, so cab drivers for me, I know other people, I had a good experience with the cab drivers. So anytime I was there, I would use the cab drivers, okay, but I would be careful. Uber, I only used Uber once, okay. And the gentleman that picked me up from my hotel was very professional. And why I probably wouldn't use Uber is because like I didn't have like internet connection. So by the time we pulled off, he came, and you're supposed to confirm that he came and to pay. And so by the time he pulled off real quick, and I tried to confirm it, it didn't take. So so by the time he took me, was going to a mall. It didn't register that I paid, that it was already paid. So he showed me. He didn't get mad or anything. He just, he was trying to explain to me that it didn't go through. And so he just like thought about how much to charge me, and which was cool. As I say, I love the people in Medellin. There's a lot of honest people. and he actually only asked me for like, I think it was like 5,800 pesos. 5,800 pesos. And this was a long drive to go to this mall. And I was like, oh, okay, cool, 58. And he was just like, he didn't really know what to charge. So he just charged 58. So I said, cool, because I've taken rides from my hotel to Parques Jerez, and it was a lot longer. So I just said, hey, I just gave him the 10,000 pesos, okay, which was like $3 again, like $3.16. And he was like, give me a chance. I said, no, keep it. He's like, oh, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. So my experience, as I said, with the Uber drivers, it was great. I have nothing against the Uber drivers. You know, like I said, I sat in front. The guy was really polite, very professional. The vehicle was really nice. Just good energy. I liked it. And as I said, with the cabs, I took a lot of cabs. I didn't have any problems. And so, yeah, I would take a cab. You know, but again, you know, always be careful, anyways. And the story is the time that I was stuck down downtown Medellin. You know, it was like real late, and I eventually, after a while, I got a young man who was more than glad to drive me to my hotel because the traffic was crazy. And he was like, yeah, sure. So he just knew a little bit of English. And so I really appreciate that because I didn't know anything about the subway system. You know, at the time, I just didn't. And I didn't want to try. I didn't even know really how to get to my hotel from there. And so I thank him. I thank the homeless people that were like on the street that was flagging down, trying to get a cab for me because there was like some homeless guys out there. And they would just take whatever change you give them. They was flagging down cabs, and I appreciate them. I thank them a lot. So Uber versus the cab drivers. Hey, I don't think you can go wrong with either one. And I know. And what was great too, though, is that one time I got in the cab because I really didn't notice a lot of times, but one time I just happened to notice I got into one cab, and it had like, and the guy was about to pull off. And it had like, because when you get in, I think when you get in, it starts off at 3,500 pesos. So just getting in the cab is 3,500 pesos, which is not like a whole lot. Okay, so getting in is gonna be like 3,500 pesos. So this one time I got in, and it was like, I don't know, 68,000 pesos or 69 or something. And I said to the guy, hey, what's that right there? He's, oh, okay, stop, okay. And he changed it, and no problem there. So I don't think he was scamming me. It was just he didn't hit the button to change it or whatever. And you know, again, I love Medellin. I love Colombia. I love the people. The people were cool. The cab drivers was cool. The Uber driver that I had was cool. Okay, guys? So, you know, just try both. Okay? Thank you, guys. Subscribe, like, comment, travel. A Demon's World. Thank you. God bless you. Take care, guys. Peace.